Portland State University is located in the heart of downtown Portland, Oregon, in Multnomah County. We honor the indigenous people whose traditional and ancestral homelands we are being educated on, the Multnomah, Cathlamet, Clackamas, Tumwater, Watlala bands of the Chinook, the Tualatin Kalapuya, and many other indigenous nations of the Columbia River. It is important to acknowledge the ancestors of this place and to recognize that we are here because of the sacrifices forced upon them. In remembering these communities, we honor their legacy, their lives, and their descendants.
Greetings. As president of Portland State University, I'm so pleased to be here today with our honor students to celebrate graduation. Graduation is always such an important time of the year for us, and it's such an important time in the lives of our students who are fulfilling and completing all of their undergraduate work and moving forward into their next step in life, whether that be graduate school or career. But boy, we really want to celebrate this year because this has been such a hard year. This pandemic has not been easy on anyone. You've all worked very hard. You've adjusted to remote learning. You've sustained your studies. You've done your work projects together. You've met all the requirements toward graduation. And so we're so very, very proud of you for making that accomplishment. And even though we can't be with you in person this year, we want to have our whole PSU family put our arms around you and say, congratulations, we're very proud of you. Honor students have always left a mark on our university and gone on to do wonderful things. I'm sure that's the same for you. So please enjoy this graduation. Have a great day. We're so proud. Thank you.
Good morning, graduates. It is a privilege to welcome and celebrate you, our wonderful honors graduates, your loving families and friends, and our dedicated faculty and staff. So much about the world has changed since you arrived at PSU. Daily routines were suddenly uprooted, classes moved online, jobs were eliminated, social gatherings were discontinued, and of course, too many lives were lost. Yet, graduates, you never stopped seeking the truth, asking the hard questions, lending a hand, and reaching for the best in yourselves and others. You completed your studies at a distance and for the most part, while isolated from each other. You finished your theses under less than ideal circumstances, no longer able to continue lab-based research or engage with human participants or access creative lab space or put on performances. And somehow you found a way forward. And through your example, you helped us to find our way forward, to speak our truth, to share our stories, and to answer the call for racial and social justice. You have left a legacy of scholarship and hope. So, although this graduation is not happening in the way you anticipated it would, it is no less a moment to rejoice in your accomplishments and to acknowledge the hard work that got you here, as well as the fortitude and flexibility that enabled you to prevail over the unexpected upheavals you experienced during your final terms at PSU. I am certain that your honors education, the relationships you made, and the experiences you had, inclusive of these past 15 months, will serve you well as you go forward with humility, confidence, courage, passion, and purpose as you confront new challenges and discover the many opportunities that await you. Congratulations, honors graduates. You did it.
Graduates, family, friends, families of choice, welcome to the 2021 Honors College Commencement. Graduates, you make your entire college, your faculty, your staff, your fellow students very proud. The Honors Class of 2021 is the largest graduating class in the Honors College history. We have 190 students graduating this year. The graduates of 2021 are an extraordinary group of students. Not only have you completed a challenging education and proposed, carried out, and presented and finished your honors thesis, but you have done all of these things during a pandemic that changed lives in every way possible and during a time of political change. I am truly in awe of what you have achieved in the face of unprecedented challenges. This extraordinary group of graduates absolutely gives us a reason to celebrate. As you stand in the threshold of your next adventure, I want to remind you of 3 qualities each of you has, qualities that will serve you well on the roads ahead of you. 1, you have courage. It takes courage to say yes to voluntarily taking on a course of study that you know is designed to challenge you and to push you beyond the places where you're already comfortable. You chose challenge over taking a path that might have been easier. Some of you have done internships and research experiences. Some of you have studied abroad. Some of you have been campus leaders. All of you have courage. You are curious. Each of you has proposed and carried out an honors thesis. When you signed on to honors, you might have been excited or terrified about this prospect, or both. But you were driven by your curiosity and your excitement about research or creative practices to see what you could learn by tackling a project that takes a minimum of 2 quarters of sustained effort. Finally, you are resilient. Many of you have worked while earning your degree. Many of you have been engaged members of your families, whether families by birth or choice, and a support system for your friends. The very fact that you have reached your graduation demonstrates your resilience. It's still true that only about 33% of Americans earn a 4-year college degree. You have now become part of this 1/3. When life gets hard, as it's going to be, it does for all of us from time to time, and I think you all know that better than most from the last year. I really hope that you're going to think back to this year, and you can really draw lessons from the fact that you were able to find a way through, even when things might have felt overwhelming or impossible. You have overcome challenges that might have overpowered you on your journey to graduation. So I really hope that you will remember in years to come how resilient you are and that you can look back on this achievement to draw strength. I think that it's a little bit fun for you to know some stats about your class, your fellow graduates. So here are some things that you might want to know. 55% of you have majors in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, but the second biggest group of you are majors in the College of Urban and Public Affairs. The third biggest group of majors is tied between the College of the Arts and the Massey College of Engineering and Computer Science. The top 5 majors among our 190 graduates are psychology, biology, English, public health studies, and computer science. 70% of our graduates are women. 34% of our graduates come from diverse ethnic and racial backgrounds. 33% of the graduates are from out of state, and 4% of them are international students. 3 of our graduates are veterans, and our graduates range in age from 19 to 48. 58% of you started as first-year students, and 42% of you started as transfers. The average GPA of our 190 graduates is 3.75. And 14 of you are graduating with a 4.0. And finally, one of our graduates, Motutama Sipali, served as the student body president. I would like to leave you with some simple advice. Be open, be brave, and be curious. And keep in touch. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Our keynote speaker is Paulann Petersen, Oregon Poet Laureate Emerita, who has 7 full-length books of poetry, including The Voluptuary and Understory, from Lost Horse Press. Her 7th collection, One Small Sun, is from Salmon Poetry of Ireland. Her poems have appeared in many journals and anthologies, including Poetry, The New Republic, Prairie Schooner, Notre Dame Review, Wilderness Magazine, The Internet's Poetry Daily, and Poetry in Motion, which place poems on TriMet buses and light rail cars in the Portland area. The Latvian composer Eriks Edsenvalds chose a poem from her book, The Voluptuary, as the lyric for a new choral composition that's now part of the repertoire of the choir at Trinity College, Cambridge. Petersen was a Stegner Fellow at Stanford University. In 2006, she received the Holbrook Award from Oregon Literary Arts, and in 2013, Willamette Writers Distinguished Northwest Writer Award. As Oregon's 6th Poet Laureate from 2010 to 2014, she traveled over 27,000 miles within Oregon, visiting all of its 36 counties to give workshops, readings, and presentations at schools, libraries, and community centers.
Honored graduates, guests, thank you for welcoming me, for welcoming a poet here today. Yes, I'm a poet, and as Oregon Poet Laureate Emerita, I luckily continue to have the honor, the privilege of being an ambassador for poetry in Oregon. So today, this ambassador is going to speak to you using poetry. Poetry. Why? Because poetry speaks the language of us at our best. Most often, we're spoken to as receptors of data, receivers of fact, as consumers, potential buyers, potential voters. But poetry speaks to us in the language of vision, sympathy, empathy, affect, the language of insight. Any wonder we often seek out a poem to recite at a wedding, a funeral, a birthday, at any important ceremony? Who doesn't want to be spoken to as a soulful, creative, responsive creature, as an entity deeply human and humane? So today, on this occasion of celebration, I'm going to speak to you with words from 5 poets. The first poet will ask you a question, a stunning, ageless, riveting question. The other 4 will answer that question. That first poem, the question poem, comes to you from Mary Oliver, a beloved American poet who wrote about the natural world, who drew most of her inspiration from her daily walks in the fields and woods that surrounded her country home. Mary Oliver asks this: who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Tell me, Mary Oliver says to each of us, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? And that is the enormous, the ultimate question, isn't it? The question we must ask ourselves moment to moment. What am I doing with my one wild and precious life? That's a question you've been answering with the moments, the hours, the months, the years you've been devoting to higher learning, to high achieving, to being in an honors college that demands exceptional commitment from you. What to do with your one irreplaceable life. A great American poet answered this question in 1855 as part of his preface to the first edition of Leaves of Grass. Yes, Walt Whitman. And part of what Whitman wrote in 1855 is indeed an answer to the question Mary Oliver asks in her poem. Whitman says, "This is what you shall do. Love the earth and sun and the animals. Despise riches. Give alms to everyone that asks. Stand up for the stupid and crazy. Devote your income and labor to others. Hate tyrants. Argue not concerning God. Have patience and indulgence toward the people. Re-examine all you have been told at school or church or in any book. Dismiss whatever insults your own soul, and your very flesh shall be a great poem. Dismiss whatever insults your own soul. So saith Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman's call to us is imbued with, informed by principles, by idealism. Idealism, the quest for the very best that the human mind and soul can offer. Listen to Langston Hughes, the iconic Black American poet, luminary of the Harlem Renaissance. Listen to his words about your dreams, your idealism. Langston Hughes says, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow." Don't let go of your dreams, Langston Hughes says. Don't let your idealism slip away. To let your dreams slip away is to impoverish your life. To give in to cynicism or despair is to cripple your life. And listen as Sahid Akal, a renowned Lebanese poet, speaks to you about your dreams, about your idealism. Akal says, "Once I heard a bird an absorbed, ecstatic bird, eloquently telling its child, fly away, soar high. A few breadcrumbs will suffice you, but the sky, you need the whole sky. To soar high, you need the whole sky. Your material needs can be modest, and in the post-COVID times to come, many of us hope that returning to normal will mean a normal of less inequity, less depletion, less exploitation, a normal of much less consumerism. Your material needs can be modest, but in order to soar, you need the whole sky. You need your idealism, your unencumbered vision. You need what has been the foundation of your work in this honors college: insightful inquiry, compassionate consideration, vast and encompassing perspective, transformative problem solving. You are the honors students of an urban university. For 4 years, you've engaged in urban and urbane, yes, worldly, global, urban and urbane studies. Global cities have been your focus. Those large, diverse, ever-evolving, interconnected cities of our world. And you, each of you, is a global city in microcosm, large in your interests, your passions, diverse in your willingness to see and comprehend this world's nuances and complexities, ever evolving in your openness to learn and reconsider, interconnected with all that touches your life. Interconnected. We are human only in so much as we are connected with others. Human only in so much as we're able to place ourselves in the place of others. What each of us does with that one priceless life will affect the lives of many others. In this unprecedented time of climate crisis, of social crisis, how do we protect, preserve the natural world that Mary Oliver celebrates in her poems? How do we create for all the earth's creatures, all its peoples, a more equitable life? How can we all best live our precious lives? I've given you answers to Mary Oliver's question from Walt Whitman, Saeed Akil, Langston Hughes. Here's one more answer, a response from a second Whitman. And that second Whitman is me. My birth name is Whitman, Paulann Whitman. Born in Portland, Oregon, Richmond Grade School graduate, Franklin High School graduate. A fifth and last poem from this Whitman. My poem was inspired by ancient art, an Egyptian image of the sun. Radiating from this Egyptian sun are long rays. At the end of each ray is a human hand, an open, extended human hand. Seeing this image, I was struck by its power as a metaphor for our human capacity to give to others, to be generous, to be insightful. My poem's title, When Meeting the Other. The other being what, being who we might perceive as different, as alien, even as unworthy or threatening. The other, as in the other of us and them. Here's my answer. Here's this Whitman's answer to Mary Oliver's question. When meeting the other, given arms, the sun would choose to grow many. Having many narrow arms, the sun would, at each limb's end, flare into a palm and fingers, into the curves made for reaching. Extremities of flame, of shine, hands that carry enough heat and light to give away. Be that sun, one small sun. What to do with this one priceless life you have? Be that sun, one small sun. Honor students, we celebrate you today. Yet I also feel honored to have had this chance to speak to you at this ceremony marking the time when you commence the next part of your lives. Given our current world, cynicism is easy, far too easy. Given our current world of crisis, giving in to despair is far too easy. It will take courage and resilience, true, but don't surrender your one wild and precious life to cynicism and despair. Hold fast to your ideals. Hold tight to your dreams. Dismiss whatever insults your own soul. Be that sun, one small sun. Thank you.
Alisha Steigerwald is a biology and public health double major who is also a Bild Exito Scholar, McNair Scholar, and Rosenbaum Scholar. She has worked in 3 different research labs, from OHSU to labs in Missouri and Norway. During her time at PSU, Alisha has worked with children with autism, youth with eating disorders, and adults with dementia. This past year, Alisha has served as president of the Neuroscience Club and played a major role in advocating for the development of a neuroscience minor at PSU. Lastly, Alisha has also been an Honors College writing tutor and was co-founder of the newly launched Honors Book Club.
460. It has been 460 days since PSU students received the email that informed us that in-person instruction was canceled. This email came on Thursday, March 12th, 2020, which was the Thursday of week 10 during winter term. Little did we know that this would be the last day of in-person instruction for the rest of our college experience. Little did I know that the only times I would go to the PSU campus during my senior year was to get COVID tested at SHAC and to pick up my cap and gown. Thinking back to that fateful day in early March, the ways our lives have changed is unfathomable. Although we have all likely known in our hearts for much longer, it has been 102 days since it was confirmed that our graduation would be virtual. To my fellow 2021 graduates, there are no words to express our loss. All I can say is, I'm sorry. To the first-generation college students whose parents have had this day marked in their calendars for years, I'm sorry. To the non-traditional students who struggled to find their path and then found their purpose at PSU, I'm sorry. To our Black students and other students of color that have had to not only fight for every step of their education, but who are still fighting for their basic human rights, I'm sorry. To all of us students who have lost our loved ones, our community, our connections to others, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. As if this speech wasn't depressing enough, I checked the Johns Hopkins coronavirus map. You know the one with the scary red dots that first consumed cities, then countries, then continents? I remember last spring, checking and rechecking this map, refreshing and watching the numbers go up and up. But once the numbers lost their shock factor, once the worldwide death that was occurring became normal, I stopped checking. We are now at over 173 million cases and over 3 million deaths worldwide due to the coronavirus pandemic. But since the last time I checked, a third column has been added. Vaccine doses administered. We are now at over 2 billion vaccines administered worldwide. It has been 460 days since our lives have changed forever, but it took only approximately 460 days for humans to develop a vaccine and administer it to over 2 billion people. That's incredible. And it also gives me hope. I see hope in the scientists and world leaders who rushed to create and approve this vaccine. I see hope in the healthcare professionals that did everything they could to heal those that contracted this deadly virus. I see hope in the grocery workers, cashiers, and truck drivers whose sacrifice allowed some semblance of our normal lives to continue. I see hope in the school teachers and professors that switched to remote learning at the drop of a hat. I see hope in all of those who have sacrificed seeing loved ones in order to protect our communities. To my fellow 2021 graduates, I see hope in us. This hope is what we must take with us as we pivot to the next stage of our lives. Previous generations have left a big mess for us to clean up in more ways than one, and our hardships did not end in 2020. But there's good news too. Humanity has never been more ready and equipped to bring about the change we desire than this moment in time. As college graduates, we now represent a minority of people with a college education. Only 6.7% of people have a bachelor's degree worldwide, and this is a privilege we cannot squander. It is up to us to use the adversity we have faced and overcome to inform our actions from here on out. Among us, we have future policymakers, artists, healthcare professionals, writers, environmentalists, scientists, social rights activists, and global leaders. Among my classmates, I see resilience, tenacity, devotion, intelligence, and kindness. We are prepared to take on the collective challenges we have before us. We are the ones who must use our education to shape the future. To the Honors College 2021 graduates, we are the hope. Thank you and congratulations.
Iris DeLee, she or they pronouns, is a sexuality, gender, and queer studies major with a Spanish minor. Iris is the co-lead of the Campus Spanish Club and co-chair of the Campus Climate and Intergroup Relations Task Force, as well as a member of the President's Diversity Action Council. Iris's senior practicum has been working with the chair and staff of the Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies Department on student-facing events, and they have worked as a technician in the Campus Disability Resource Center since starting at PSU. Iris is graduating summa cum laude.
Hello. I would like to start by offering my most heartfelt congratulations to my brilliant cohort of colleagues. As a transfer student, the pandemic has meant that nearly half my time at Portland State has been remote, and that is heartbreaking because I love our beautiful campus so much. But I also know that so many around the world were affected far more profoundly and continue to be affected. I feel fortunate and privileged to have been able to finish my degree despite the tragedy and upheaval in Portland and around the world. I'm especially thankful to have shared this journey with each of you, my peers, as well as the amazing faculty and staff at the Honors College who didn't miss a beat as they continued to show up for us, even as they lived through the same pandemic, wildfires, horrors of racial injustice, state violence, etc. It's been such a gift to learn with and from each of you, and here we are. We made it to graduation. I feel humbled and honored to have been invited to share some remarks with you today. And I spent several days thinking about what would be worthy of such a meaningful milestone in our lives. I woke up around 4 a.m. several nights ago with the outline running through my mind of what I'm going to share with you today. And I hope that it will prove inspiring or helpful in some small way. In late 2016, I learned that the company that I had been working for several years was going to undergo a major reorganization. I had the choice to either apply for another position or to accept a small severance package at the end of a 6-month wind-down period. Having grown up in a working poor household, I had spent my career in the software and internet sectors, prioritizing work and a stable income above nearly everything else. This reorganization felt like an opportunity to finally remedy this and to tip the scales the other way. Thanks to a brilliant, loving, and supportive partner, as well as an amazing circle of friends and chosen family, I was able to make the decision to leave the corporate world and make the kind of change in my life that I had dreamed of and longed for, but had always felt would surely never be possible. What I learned along the way is that it is never, ever too late to choose to live authentically and to pursue your dreams, no matter how far from where you are today they may appear. Instead, I want to briefly share the story of how I battled through relentless imposter syndrome and made radically authentic choices day after day, feeling the fear at every point of progress and choosing to take the next step anyway. My last day at the company was March 31st, 2017. I was 48 years old. Between that day and my first day of class at PSU in January 2018 as a full-time student, I did the following. I came out publicly as both trans and queer. I volunteered for 6 months at our local LGBTQ community center. I changed my full name, first, middle, and last, to one that feels more in alignment with my gender and is inspired by my mom's favorite flower and family history. I updated my name and gender marker on my driver's license, my social security, and my passport. And I started a volunteer organization serving the local trans and queer communities. Then I started work at the Portland State University Disability Resource Center as an alternative formats technician, helping to produce accessible versions of textbooks and other classroom materials. In short, instead of choosing the company reorganization and to double down on my commitment to my career and income above all else, helping multinational banks and big pharma companies, among others, to bolster their bottom lines, I chose to prioritize and reorganize, if you will, myself and my own life instead. By doing that, I was able to make myself more authentically and fully available to my partner, my family, and my community, and to experience joy and fulfillment in ways that had been impossible before. I would be terribly remiss to not acknowledge the many factors that made this easier for me than it might have been for many others. The fact that I am white, non-disabled, have stable housing and income, citizenship, as well as a loving and supportive partner and friend group. These things were all key to me being able to face my fears and step forward anyway in the society that we live in. I hope that we will each take what we've learned over our time here together to fight for the world that we all so desperately need. a world where some of us aren't privileged at the expense of others, who are systemically and systematically marginalized, excluded, and oppressed. I hope that we will each fight for a world where every person has the opportunity to live authentically and to trust that they will be supported as they pursue their dreams. And I trust that we'll do just that. Again, congratulations, and thank you so much.
Hey everyone, can you believe it? We're graduating! Yay! How would I describe my senior year? Well, it's been a roller coaster, where we go from in-person to everything remotely. My highlights in this college were making new friends and meeting wonderful people from all sorts of club activities to virtual platforms. I want to say thank you for this experience, and I can't wait to see what my next journey will bring.
Hey, everybody. I am so glad to have the chance to say congratulations on making it to graduation and to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn alongside and from each of you in all of these incredible classes that we've had.
The biggest highlight of my senior year would be finishing my thesis. I feel so happy with myself and the work I put into it, which is weird just for me to say, but the learning process of the thesis was remarkable. It's been over 2 years that I've been working on it, and I feel like my knowledge on what I was studying has expanded to where I feel like I could talk anybody's head off at this point.
When I moved in with my grandparents 5 years ago to start at Portland State, I had no idea that they would be missing out on my senior year. They were both people who were so invested in my professional and personal growth and success, and they were huge parts of my success here at Portland State. Unfortunately, in July of 2020, both of them became ill with COVID and died just a couple of weeks later.
I graduated high school a year behind with grades so poor that I didn't even qualify to go to university back in my home province. I used to think that there was no way I could ever even graduate from university, let alone with honors.
The honors program has just been such a gift in terms of how it has complemented my major and my minor of sexuality, gender, and queer studies as my major and Spanish as my minor. I am just incredibly glad to have learned about the program, to have decided to apply for it, and then get to share this with you all.
But I wish that they would have been here for my final year in Portland State, because it's been very full of things that I think would make them very proud.
My senior year has been wild. Aside from the pandemic, I had a traumatic brain injury in January, and I rapidly lost my ability to walk without mobility aids due to a chronic condition.
I also want to say thank you so much to the staff and faculty for just bringing us so many incredible classes and for just keeping this program thriving, to have such amazing opportunities to learn in this kind of an environment in the ways that we do in the honors program at Portland State. I think it's such an amazing gift.
I completed my honors thesis, which is currently being reviewed in a medical journal. I'm graduating from PSU with the highest Latin honors. I'm engaged to my then girlfriend, now fiance, who they absolutely adored. And just a couple of months after their passing, I was accepted to my top choice medical school. So even though they're not here, this senior year has been marked by events that I think would make them very proud.
But I worked so hard at PSU, and I overcame so many first-gen student challenges. And not only am I graduating with honors, but I'm going off to graduate school at Arizona State University. Thank you to every single person.
my mind work backwards just for a minute. I hold on to you before the memory's gone.
Sophie Johnson, Bachelor of Science, Environmental Science. Rachel Amaro, Bachelor of Arts, Arts and Letters. Sequoia Belenka, Bachelor of Science, Public Health Studies, Preclinical Health Science. Joanna Constantine Madrigal, Bachelor of Science, Criminology and Criminal Justice. Michelle Lee, Bachelor of Science, Science. Amanda Burrell, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Tara Duenos, Bachelor of Science, Business Administration, Marketing and Advertising. Miranda Gobb, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Vicky Gomez, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Fetea Alator, Bachelor of Science, Speech and Hearing Sciences. Lane Cooper, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Paulann Nguyen, Bachelor of Science, Business Administration, Supply Chain and Logistics. Cami Gould, Bachelor of Arts, Graphic Design. Brianna Burrows, Bachelor of Science, Biology and Psychology. Jared Ballantyne, Bachelor of Arts, Political Science. Isabella Becherer, Bachelor of Science, Communication Studies. Anna Kinsey Munoz, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Maggie Metzger, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Jessica Goodpaster, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Chance Hodges, Bachelor of Science, Environmental Engineering. Adriana Cordova Perez, Bachelor of Arts, Criminology and Criminal Justice. Lisa Banta, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Art Practice. Hamzat Anwar, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Leilani Lopes, Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts, Biochemistry and Spanish. Maria Miranda, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Graphic Design. Danielle Jokums, Bachelor of Arts, Applied Linguistics and Psychology. Olivia Naylor, Bachelor of Arts, Social Work. Stephanie Kenyon, Bachelor of Arts, Public Health Studies, Community Health Promotion. Rachel Adams, Bachelor of Arts, International and Global Studies, International Development. Karen Casas Gonzalez, Bachelor of Arts, Political Science. Julie Goldman, Bachelor of Science, Public Health Studies, Preclinical Health Science. Julian Pierre Campbell, Bachelor of Arts, English. Danlyn Brennan, Bachelor of Science, Biomedical Physics. Juliana Bigelow, Bachelor of Science, Sonic Arts and Music Production. Catherine Lehman, Bachelor of Arts, Communication Studies. Iris Soleil Delis, Bachelor of Arts, Sexuality, Gender, and Queer Studies. Rachel Newbar Torres, Bachelor of Arts, Arts and Letters. Taylor Fisher, Bachelor of Arts, Theater Arts. Claire Adams, Bachelor of Science, Public Health Studies, Preclinical Health Science. Gregory Mead, Bachelor of Science, Social Science. Alyssa Heminger, Bachelor of Science, Political Science and Community Development. Laken Berndt, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Latasi Burgess, Bachelor of Arts, Criminology and Criminal Justice.
Mohadisi Solbi, Bachelor of Science in Public Health Studies, Preclinical Health Science, and General Science. Cedar Talby, Bachelor of Arts, Graphic Design. Zoe Landy Fontana, Bachelor of Arts, Russian. Danielle Schwantes, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science. Jacob Klusnick, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Natalie A. DeWitt, Bachelor of Science in Psychology. T. Thompson, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Creative Writing. Claire Ross Rutgers, Bachelor of Science in Economics. Charlotte Grace Starling, Bachelor of Arts in Public Health, Community Health Promotion, and Psychology. Shruti Epen, Bachelor of Science, Public Health Studies, Preclinical Health Science. Grace Wolf, Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Connor Welsh, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Alisha Steigerwald, Bachelor of Science in Public Health Studies, Preclinical Health Science, and Biology. Jessica Falcon, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Jessica Risney, Bachelor of Arts, International Studies, Global Studies. Jeffrey Ellis Heilman, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Alyssa Shea, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and Political Science. Kaylee Latoka, Bachelor of Science, History. Keela Spengler, Bachelor of Science in Biology. Emmeline A. Dewing, Bachelor of Arts in Conflict Resolution. Destiny Amaris Magana Pablo, Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. Motutama Nogota Sipeli, Bachelor of Science in Public Health Studies, Preclinical Health Science. Ashlyn Sadako Okamoto, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Jacob White, Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. Ella Richmond, Bachelor of Arts, Anthropology. Lily Yeaton, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Emma Louise Vandehay, Bachelor of Arts in World Languages, Russian. Benny White, Bachelor of Arts in English.
Michael Shapik, Bachelor of Arts, Public Health Studies, Preclinical.
Honors Class of 2021. This is Brenda Glascott, the Director of the Honors College. I'm so proud of each of you who are graduating this year, and I'm truly in awe at your perseverance and your resiliency. I mean, this year has been uniquely challenging, and the fact that you made it through your senior year, did your honors thesis, and graduated is incredible, really. So I wanted to leave you with 2 pieces of advice. One is to realize it's never too late to reinvent, to allow yourself the option to go down new paths that start to feel like they're the right one or more compelling to you. My second piece of advice is to keep a learner's mind as you go through life. You've had a great education as your foundation here and honors at PSU, and you've learned how to be a beginner. And I think the most valuable thing you can do as you keep going through life is to continue to be a beginner. So seek out new experiences, tackle new challenges, and keep your mind supple and learning. And I also wanted to share with you a quote that I've always loved from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I think this is a good lesson for life. So in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, we're told there's a knack in the art, there's a knack to learning to fly, and that is to learn to throw yourself at the ground and miss.
Graduates, I know we all chart our own path. I'm afraid I don't have great words of wisdom, but perhaps a few suggestions. You'll have to make many decisions in life, some of them big, others are small. And when you make decisions, they don't always sometimes take you to the places that you want to go. You may find that some of your decisions were not the right decisions. For those moments, I have some advice that I'm going to actually borrow from the author Ursula Le Guin. In her 1983 speech, Le Guin reminds us that as human beings, we may all meet a variety of challenges, and we may even meet failure. We may find ourselves in dark places sometimes. In such situations, we should remember that what hope we have lies in us. Let me quote Le Guin directly. She says, "Look not from above, but from below, not in the light that blinds, but in the dark that nourishes, where human beings grow, human souls." I think those words are a great gift from a West Coast author. I hope you won't ever need to remember these words, but if you do, you will also remember that we all share in the full range of human experiences. Those experiences, some of them bumpy, some of them involving loss, will connect us to the rest of humanity. There's a certain richness in them and in the full range of those experiences. That said, I wish you all the best for a full and beautiful life. Congratulations again.
Congratulations, seniors. Throughout your time in honors, you've shown us the intelligence, creativity, and hard work it requires to succeed in an academically rigorous program. This last year, you also showed us the fortitude and adaptability it takes to succeed under exceptional circumstances. For that, you all deserve a round of applause. I genuinely believe you can change the world. You've shown it, and I look forward to seeing what comes next.
Hello, honors class of 2021. They've asked me to give you some advice today, and as always, my advice is going to be on the practical side, and it's probably advice you've heard from me before. Number 1, meet your deadlines. Number 2, never be afraid to ask questions. And number 3, always read the instructions all the way to the end before you start your project. That's about it. This is advice that will serve you well in whatever you do in life. So go forth, do great things, and then come back and visit every now and then to let us know how you're doing, because we will miss you.
My advice for you as you're going off into the world is to do things that make you afraid. Because when you're nervous and you're scared, that means that you're doing something that's new and you're learning and growing. And those are good things. And when you are feeling scared, always remember that you can do it, that you can do hard things. You already have.
Well, I've been asked to offer some advice besides congratulating you all. And I guess just thinking about it, I would say it should be me asking you for advice after completing, your thesis and graduating in these super hard times, all the challenges that we've seen in this past year. So I guess my advice is think about what you accomplished this year. Remember what you did whenever you face, the new challenges that are ahead. It was an amazing accomplishment. We're all very proud and really amazed by what you did. Just celebrating with you, and congratulations to you all.
Hi, graduates. This is Professor Starry, and my advice to you after college is to just keep learning. Keep building on your interdisciplinary training that you had in the Honors College, and just be open to new ideas, new experiences, new disciplinary ways of thinking, and just keep being your strong, intellectual, self-confident, caring selves in the world, and keep up the fight for social and environmental justice, and just remember we're rooting for you, and we look forward to hearing about your future success.
My advice to this year's Honors College graduating class is to get outside your comfort zone and continually challenge yourself. It will keep you young, I know. I also hope you will put the critical inquiry skills we have tried to impart to you to good use, professionally, communally, and personally. I am heartened by the prominent role so many of you are playing in social justice campaigns. Be patient, but committed, and reject pessimism. You can have an impact.
My piece of advice is to have confidence in all that you've learned here in the Honors College. You have the critical thinking, reading, writing, and research skills to make thoughtful contributions in your personal and professional lives. Think about how you can use what you've learned to make change for good, and rely on the friendships and connections you've made here at PSU. You should be very proud of yourselves.
Congratulations, graduates. Time to celebrate.
Congratulations, you guys.
Congratulations!
Congratulations, class of 2021. So proud of you.
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Congratulations, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful summer. Stay in touch.
Congratulations, graduates.
2021 honors graduates. So proud and amazed by what you accomplished. Congratulations.
Congratulations! Woo!
Congratulations to you all. And if we were in person and I was standing in the stage in front of you in the arena, I would be saying, by the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Portland State University, I'm so pleased to confer your undergraduate degree today. So I'm still doing that. I'm conferring on you and saying congratulations to you all.
Congratulations,
Class of 2021.
You did it.